So we're going to look at the arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence is when you are adding the same number to a pattern over and over and over again. Now, we first test the pattern. I have my students test the first three. And the way we can test it is we can subtract the second one minus the first one, or A2 minus A1. And we're going to learn what the A's mean in a moment. But A2 means second one, and A1 means the first one. So 4 minus 1 is 3. 7 minus 4 is 3. 10 minus 7 is 3. Now each one is adding 3. The difference between them is adding 3 or positive 3. So we're going to use that in our formula. So first, before we go on, let's talk about our formula. To find any one in a sequence, any number n, we take the first one plus common difference we just found here was 3, so we use D to represent that common difference, and then n minus 1, the number we want minus 1. So what each of these represents, a to the 1 is our first term in the pattern, or the first number, which is here 1. Our D is our common difference, the difference between each number. And in math, the word difference is to subtract. So when we find the difference, we subtract the second one minus the first one. And the n is just the number, the term that we want to find, or the number in the pattern we want to find. So a to the 1 is the first one, a to the 2 is the second one, a to the 3, a to the 4 is the fifth term, and the sixth term. So let's build our formula based on this pattern. Any number we want to find in the pattern, the 10th one, the 20th one, is going to equal the first number, 1, plus the difference. We kept adding 3, times the number we want minus 1. So why do we think there's an n minus 1 in this formula? Well, because if we want to find the 30th term, we have the first one, plus we need 30 minus 1, or 29 more. So it's 29 plus the first one would make 30. So let's try that. A to the 30 means we want to find the 30th one in this pattern. We take the first one plus 3 times 30 minus 1. Okay, now that's going to become 29. Because to get 30, there's the first one plus 29 more. That'll make 30. And we use a calculator to do that. And why did we do this? Well, because we keep adding 3, so we're going to add 329 more times plus the first one. That's really what it means. And so let me punch that in the calculator. Well, I could probably do it in my head. 87 plus 1. So our 30th term would be 88. Let's try another one and see if we can create our formula. This formula is called the explicit formula, because it explicitly tells you the one that you're looking for. Let's try another pattern. Maybe we'll see one with a negative. So here we have a pattern, and you might see it right away. You might notice what we're subtracting by. The fact that it's getting smaller is a clue that it's subtracting. So let's test it. We take our second one minus our first one. 5 minus 10. And if we needed a calculator, we could use that, but it's good to know our integers. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Negative 5 minus 0 is negative 5. So we have our common difference in between them. The difference in between each one, call that our d, is negative 5. So our formula is a to the n, our first one, plus the difference times the number we want minus 1. So the first term this time is 10. 10 plus common difference was negative 5 minus 1. We can now use this formula to find any term we want. So let's say we want to find the 43rd term. Our n is 43. It's the 43rd number. So we're going to use this formula and plug in 43 for n. n plus negative 5, 43 minus 1. Again, 43 minus 1 is 42 because we have 42 numbers plus the first one, which would make 43. This will be 10 plus negative 210, which is negative 200. So our explicit formula, to find any number, we plug in the first one plus the common difference times n minus 1. Now some teachers will write it this way. A to the 1 plus n minus 1 times d. You can move the d to the back. When we distribute, we're more used to having it in the front. Now some people will also multiply everything out and simplify it. Let's take our last formula. We just used a to the n is 10 plus negative 5, 1. To simplify this, we want to distribute or multiply this to both terms. So 10 plus negative 5 times n is negative 5n, and negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. We can now add like terms, the ones that are both numbers. And so 10 plus 5 is 15, negative 5n plus 15. So we've simplified that formula, make it look a little neater without the parentheses. That's the arithmetic sequence.